All right, man, you gotta learn how to crawl before you learn how to walk. And the Pistons lost to the Knicks in 6 games on a Jalen Brunson late three. I knew they lost like in the third quarter. I'm like, this shit over with. I went to bed. I ain't gonna cap. So I already knew they lost. It's just Beasley had made a dumb pass, and I was like, yeah, I'm not about to stay up for this and compromise my sleep. And they lost. And ultimately, things happened that Beasley, I mean, he woke up, wasn't enough. Schroeder, I mean, didn't give you a Schroeder game, but Durant gave you 21 because he gave you more rebounds. New York had 43 rebounds. We had 36. So we got out rebounded. Let me put it on the screen. So that's an issue. And I can already tell, they lost the turnover battle. I can tell you that right now. Um, the turnover battle, New York had 16. We won it 15. So that's crazy. Um, no free throws. We shot 84.8%, basically 85, 33 free throws. They shot 30. They shot 33% from three. We shot 26. We shot 46.9% from the field. They shot 47. So the shooting was pretty much the difference tonight. And one thing that I didn't kind of like that JB Bickerstaff didn't do is, I mean, he didn't dig in his bench. He basically played two people off the bench. He matched what Thibodeau did. And some of those and the championship winning teams for the Detroit Pistons, what we came to find out is, they went deep. Think about it for a minute. They didn't subscribe to this new shit that they kicking. Where you just shorten your bench and that's what it is. They didn't subscribe to that. They didn't. They went Corliss Williamson, Mehmet Okur, the Pit Bulls off the bench, Lindsey Hunter, Mike James. That's four right there. Sometimes they'd put Eldon Campbell in the game. And I feel like it was more guys off that bench too. I just can't remember. The bad boys, they went deep in that bench. James Edwards, Benny Johnson. When Mark Aguirre came off the bench, before he came off the bench, it was Dennis Rodman. They went deep in their bench too. They really did. So I mean, for the most part, now he played right in Thibodeau's hands. He shortened his bench. He shortened his bench. I don't think he should have. He should have played Ron Hollins. He should have played Marcus Sasser. At the end of the day, you wasn't going to win the series anyway. That's my thing. So he should have allowed them to get that experience. That's the only mistake I really seen. But so be it. But ultimately, it just wasn't enough. Tim Hardaway, he been playing good this series, but he just up and down now. He just up and down. Durant could have rebounded a lot better. Cat had 10 rebounds. You expect, more than that from Cat. He didn't play a good game, but when you get 20 from OG, 25 from Bridges, they both shot well, almost 50% for both, way over 50% him. Bronson, played well. I mean, he played well, 40 points, 15 on 33, 3 for 10 from three. I mean, ultimately, okay, could have shot a little bit better. 0 for 8 from three. 1 from 6 from three for Hardaway, 1 for 3 from three from Tobias Harris. And Tobias Harris, he kind of was a disappointment this series. It was a lot of times where he was getting switched on he was getting switched on he was getting switched on Jalen Brunson, and he didn't do nothing about it. He didn't abuse that switch. So that's why these guys can play small ball. You can play small ball when the bigger guy can't make the smaller guy pay. Why wouldn't I play small ball? It's a bias, 5 rebounds. You getting switched on Jalen Brunson every time. He should be in foul trouble, or you should be in the 30s. For what he making, defensively, he brought a lot of stability. For what he making, he brings a lot of stability. But it's not enough. You get that switch on Brunson every time, it should be you abusing him in the post. But what are you doing? He's stopping and selling for an elbow jumper. He's stopping selling for an elbow fucking jumper. So, but at the end of the day, it's a learning experience. Asar played well, but if they gonna keep this team together, to be honest with you, and be like, okay, we gonna run it back next year. Ivy gotta continue to improve. Shoot the ball well, continue to do that. Protect the ball, protect it. Learn. Him and K got to get better dribbling, but Asar Thompson and Ron Holland, somebody got to learn to shoot. Somebody got to learn to shoot. And if that ain't gonna be the case, where somebody learn to shoot, if that's not gonna be the case, then I would say honestly, you gotta get somebody that can fill them shoes. You gotta get somebody that can fill them shoes. So, I talk about how successful the season was, or it wasn't. I'll get into that another time. But I mean, ultimately, Jalen Brunson hit that last 3. That was the nail in the coffin. So be it. You got to charge it to the game. So, yeah, solid game. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit on notification, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop video. Hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. All the links in the description. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.